Welcome, everyone. Today, I have to talk about a topic that is on fire right now, and that is land development deals. And so, in the last few months, I've got a lot of calls from clients asking me, Tom, the market's really hot across these turnkeys. I'm trying to find rentals, but there's so much demand, so much competition. The numbers don't make sense. What do I do? And I've had these discussions with them talking about, one, the right. A lot of investors are chasing the rental market, which is obviously compressing the margins or profits because price goes up, rents more or less teeter along with it, and they just don't make the profits that we did or that we saw 5 years ago. In fact, a really quick story. Back in 2016, when I started one of my companies where I helped market turnkey buyers or sellers rather to buyers, I often had to get on the phone and sell the idea to investors why they would own a property for rental, why it made sense. And back then, the returns just on the cash flow side were 12 to 16%, very attractive, right? And when you factored in tax and appreciation and equity pay down, it was around 30% annual returns. And I was trying to sell people on this idea. So the market really didn't buy into it until about 2017, 2018. And then we saw a flood of investors, right? Well, fast forward to today, and not only are investors still trying to buy rental properties, primary homeowners are realizing that why not buy a second property and cash flow a little bit? Not even that, Wall Street has now recognized rentals as an asset class in itself. So they're starting to buy a ton of these properties. My point is that across the board, you have so much buyer demand towards these rentals that you're probably not going to be able to find solid B plus, A minus type properties that cash flow that well, if at all. And so I've been encouraging people to think about other ways to make money, right? Yes, it's a wonderful asset to own if you can find a good deal. But what is your overall goal? If it's simply just cash flow or a return on your money, if you're trying to accumulate wealth, then to consider other avenues, right? And two avenues that I encourage all my investors, all my clients to look at. One is private money lending deals. And again, if you know me, we offer this to people, and there's a link in the description. You can check out our deals. But generally speaking, they're getting 16 to 18% annually on these types of loans. Now, these are cash flowing sort of assets. You put money in, give your money to a flipper. If they default for whatever reason, you get the property, and usually they don't default. So they just pay you the monthly interest payments. Pretty straightforward, right? So that's a more passive way to be in real estate. But another one that is really hot right now is land development deals. Now, I will tell you that while the returns are, in my opinion, are the best in the market right now, the complexity of these deals might be the highest of anything as well. So what I mean is land development deals there can be a number of types, right? Now, I do deals in Arizona where I buy land, we install, sewer, water, power. We split the lots up. We build homes on these lots, and we sell the houses on the MLS. That's a full-on development project. There's different phases of land development as well. Another phase is where you buy land, you would do all the utilities, again, water, sewer, power, and then you subdivide to essentially have it ready for a builder just to build homes, right? Also kind of a very complex, costly process. And the third one, which I focus on in Texas, is you buy land, do all the permits, the studies, the surveys, subdivide it, and then sell it to a developer to develop the homes or the subdivision on the property. Now, across all of these phases of land development, it is extremely complex. The buying process is completely different. The amount of money it costs to even do the surveys, buy the engineers to do it, get the lawyers involved. You're looking at no less than $30,000 to $40,000 for a project, and as much as $120,000 to $140,000 for a bigger subdivision. So I say this because what I've encouraged my clients to do, and obviously we are doing this ourselves, so we do bring in clients to be part of these deals. I encourage them to work with teams that are experienced, right? So you got to have experienced engineers. You got to have teams that understand what to look for in land. Is there road frontage? Is there any grading problems? Is it in the flood zone? Is there any sort of unique critters or creatures that are endangered that would prohibit you from doing any sort of development. There's a million nuances, right? Even in places like Texas or Arizona, where they're very much pro builder, they still have a lot of stipulations that you have to work through. So again, a very complex equation, but if you know what you're doing, if you're working with the right team, the rewards can be very attractive, right? So on these projects, we're offering our clients a preferred annualized return of between 25 to 30%. So easy math, you throw in $100,000 in a 12-year period, we are targeting a $30,000 return on your money. So I'm saying this because right now, this is the time to do land development deals. Home developers are trying to find land. It's scarce out there for land. They don't want to deal with all the headaches that come with the surveys and the permits and the engineers, but certain teams are willing to do that. And they're willing to pay a premium to avoid those headaches. So if you have the right teams, it's an awesome asset class to really double down in and take advantage while it's hot. Now, I say it's hot because it's kind of an undiscovered asset class, right? Many private investors know of land, we understand what it is, but no one really understands the process to make it happen. And by the way, the process changes state to state, and not just state to state, county by county, right? So it's an incredibly complex beast, which is why if you find a team and they're offering you something like, an attractive return, work with them, because I believe that these land deals will be attractive for probably 12 to 18 more months. And just like turnkeys did, you're going to see the margins compress, probably from the 20 to 30% returns if you're an investor, down to something like 12 to 16, and eventually down to something like 7 to 10, because that is a natural course, right? I just talked to a broker today. Another really attractive area, if you can get in, is industrial warehousing, or just warehousing in general, right? It's a very hot commodity right now for a lot of companies. And he was telling me that, investors are going in with offers, at 3 to 4% cap rates, which is essentially the return on your money with no loans. That's terrible, right? It's awful yields. Multifamily syndications, 6 to 10%. Maybe they give you an IRR of 15%, but not very attractive for all the risk you're taking on. And so yield is becoming harder to find. And right now, I sincerely believe that land is a gold mine. And I don't think it's going to last forever. So I am encouraging my investors to consider diversifying, investing in the asset class. And again, just make sure you're working with the right teams. If you are working with the right teams, they should be giving you presentations, details, walking you through the pro forma, answering any questions you have. And if they're not doing that, I would think second on giving them your hard-earned money. So long story short, I wanted to tell you all this almost secret, even though I just spilled the beans. But land is going to be the hot asset class in real estate for the next 12 to 18 months until it compresses. So do consider taking advantage of it. And if you think about where it might be a good spot for land, pretty simple. Where are people moving? That is a very simple equation or variable to find. So Southwest, right? Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, even North Carolina. The South and Southeast and Southwest is where the population is moving to. Those are going to be really nice hubs for land development, right? So if your teams are in those areas, if they know what they're doing and they know the market, you could be in a good spot. So I'll leave you with that. Curious to get your thoughts down below. Give it a thumbs up if you like what you heard. And again, if you have any questions about land deals, you can always email me. The information is down below. Thanks, y'all.